the weekly roundup. It's been a rough couple days, at least for us Eagles fans, just trying to get through the draft. Obviously, the surprise of Jalen Hurts last night. I don't hate the player. I just hate where he was selected and how he just, again, who was available. But we'll get into it later on. Got a lot to talk about, given our reactions to the current draft while the show's running on, fourth and all the way to seventh round. Obviously, we're not going to cover the whole thing just as long as we're running the show. We'll see. But got a lot to talk about today. Giving our thoughts on obviously the first 1 to 3 rounds, Eagles, whatever, even your team. We can talk about your team as well. What players you like being selected, who's winning, or pretty much who's win and lost the NFL draft so far, and obviously how much better did the Eagles get? Isn't much, but we'll talk about it. As always, we are brought to you by our doc, Make 'em Yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton, New Jersey locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. We're also brought to, or poll question, is also brought to you by Ambuck Services, AMBUCK Services.com. Call Michael Ambrose, tell him A2D sent you, 20% off. Gutters, gutter guards, anything you need outside your house done, call Michael Ambrose or go to ambuckservices.com. Now, leading up to the poll question, Howie Roseman will be the Eagles GM in 2021. Agree or disagree?
Agree. They ain't getting rid of him.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's not going anywhere.
As much as we kick and scream, as much as we were upset about the decisions of day 1 and day 2, his pure lack of being able to hit in the draft, outside of a handful of guys, outside of even situational guys. If you think about it, like, we praise him for some of the stuff, but outside of 17, it wasn't really that great.
Yeah. I mean, he hit on everything in 2017, free agent signings and so on, and now it's just kind of, it's been a hit or a miss, especially this draft. This draft has had,
but I think,
in my opinion,
we give him so much credit because some of those later round guys were contributors to that run.
Right.
Your Corey Clements,
Haya
Puli Vaitai,
building
great, solidified the backside of that and made sure we were able to go on that run. So I think that's another reason why we give him as much love as he gets.
Yep. But again, I guess we'll get into it right now. Just kind of, well, just your thoughts, fam, and just obviously we'll give ours. Just like the first 1 to 3 rounds. Obviously, the Ravens are killing it right now. The Cowboys are having a fantastic draft, and Giants and Redskins are also doing well, and we're just sitting here.
Yeah, I already said it. We were talking that NFC West is going to be freaking bloody murder to get out of.
Yeah. It's gonna be a mess. Then obviously we'll have Tom Arnone joining us later. But first thing I will say before we get into the kind of just in depth with the picks and whatever, fam, we just want to say thank you for joining us for the last 2 days, just having the highs, lows, just our reacting with us during the NFL draft. It was a lot of fun. We hope to do it again next year. First 3 rounds was it was a great time. It was a great time. We all had fun. We hope to do it again next year. Maybe we'll do it for the NHL draft if sports still aren't around. But we'll see. But obviously, getting into it, let's go to the comments before anything else. Manny Martinez says, if these players underperform and Whiteside and Dillard do as well, he needs to be fired as soon as possible or put back a quarter, allowed to work numbers. And that's where I want him, Manny. But he also continues to say, because looks like the complete moron at this point, went in so hyped for the draft. We just had a bad reaction just on my face. It's bad. It's really bad. I honestly can't remember it. Like I'm as the days have gone on, I'm not as upset with the Jalen Reagor pick. I'm more upset with the Jalen Hurts pick. Now, again, I'm not mad at Jalen Hurts. He can't control the situation, but I just feel bad for the guy because he can play, but it's just the fact that I just don't see it working out here. If Wentz stays healthy and everything goes as we expect, I just don't see how you can justify the Jalen Hurts pick in the second round.
I mean, I say the reason they justify it is just the insurance policy for Carson Wentz at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fact that Nate Sudfeld got a 1-year contract again,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to have somebody under contract for cheap that could fill in for a long period of time happens if Carson gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks for us fans. We wanted to fill holes.
Yep.
Instead of replacing a need that you already told us that you're situated with. You're a quarterback factory, right? Where's Thorson from last year's draft?
Right.
He's in Dallas. He's not here. Okay.
You're talking, and they were talking about a quarterback factory, right? Well, how that, like Steve said, how did it work out for Thornton or Thorson? I forget.
Yeah, Cedric Thorson, I thought it was.
Thornton. But anyway, I just it boggles my mind. It really boggles my mind. I got people blowing up my phone last night from the pick being like, what is going on? That aren't even Eagles fans. And they're like, what is going on? What's up, Bryce?
Yeah, man.
I really, really don't know.
I got no words, guys. I'm telling you, it's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen some bad drafts in Philadelphia before, but like you can't. I don't care what you say. There's nothing you can tell me to justify it in that spot.
Yeah.
With who was available.
Yep.
With what you came into the season telling us you were doing for this team and this fan base is loading up weapons around Carson to go and make another run.
Yep.
It's not happened.
Yeah. Tyler Bowers also says, what do we get from Dallas? We got pick 164 this year, so that'll be coming up in a little bit in the 5th round. And then we're also getting a 5th rounder, pick number 146 in 2021. While the Cowboys drafted their replacement for Travis Frederick. But again, it's neither here nor there. Let me see. How he's mind eating itself for it's Mike, I agree with you. It's I'm baffled as much as anybody right now.
It's rough. It's a tough pill to swallow. Like I said, what you did is an indictment to your team, your fan base, all of it. It's bad.
And it's a spit in the face of your franchise quarterback, and people are like, "Oh, Carson seems fine with it." I mean, how do you want him to react?
What was he gonna say?
He's not that type of guy where he's gonna be like, "Oh, trade me." He's not that type of guy.
He's not Aaron Rodgers where he's gonna act a certain way or whatever. He's just gonna go back to work and continue to say like hey, this guy's not gonna take out my spot. But like it's what I was sitting there saying. We love quarterback controversy in the city for some reason.
And for whatever reason,
For whatever reason it is with our franchise, it always seems to be an issue. It's always an issue. It's one of these things. I hope when Nick left, we would kind of go away from that, and this is just going to reawaken the Folesian society, and we're going to have to deal with
or the Carson haters, whatever you want to say.
However you want to work it, however you want to work it, whatever you want to do. This is another thing that we're now going to have to discuss because you did this. It's not something I care to do, but it's something that we're going to have to deal with. Right.
And Donovan McNabb had, an interesting quote. I'll pull it up right now. Donovan McNabb says about the Eagles drafting Jalen Hurts, if you continuously get hurt, they're gonna look to bring somebody to step in. Excuse me. Carson is one of the top quarterbacks in the league when he's healthy, but he just hasn't been healthy over the last couple years to finish seasons out. He's not wrong. I get where he's coming from, and I understand it, but it's just I just can't support it. What's up, Tommy?
Tommy,
you're looking at the same thing that's up.
What?
From last night? Confused, concerned, not quite sure where this QB factory has come from. Let me just remind Howie Roseman something. Remind the people out there: stop taking credit for Andy Reid's QB factory. Okay, because that's what you're doing now. Now you're trying to take credit for a guy who had the likes of Donovan McNabb, Kevin Cobb, Michael Vick. Right? He was trying to create a QB factory. Who are you? You're going to start talking about a QB factory. What QBs have you had that equals a QB factory?
Right.
Sam Bradford, Mark Sanchez. Do we need to continue? You've had one. And his name is Carson Wentz. You've had one. You went and gave
you didn't develop him.
You gave the money to the one guy that you traded up to go get. And now you're hearing the rumors and reports coming out. Well, maybe they're concerned a little Andrew Luckish could happen to them. Okay, if that's the case, go take Jake Fromm then.
Right.
Take Jake Fromm day 3. Okay? Take one of these other guys. Take Eaton day 3. Or Easton or whatever the heck his stupid name is. Jalen Hurts, first off, is not a good quarterback. So for all these people out there, I love the kid. The kid's tough. The kid's a winner. I like everything about him. He doesn't mope. I think he's a leader.
Yep.
He's not a good quarterback. So Mr. QB University here, you're going to develop a guy who don't throw the ball well. Is he an athlete? Yeah. But he's already made it clear he doesn't want to play another position. He left Alabama because they didn't want to be the backup. You understand? But now he's okay with being the backup to your franchise quarterback you gave a ton of money to, and the cap hit's astronomical. Listen, the pick today, my Clemson guy, love him. Okay,
I love it too.
The nail. It's a nail.
Yeah.
Okay, I talk about nailed pick. That's a nailed one. So now you are 1 for 3 in terms of nailed.
Yep.
And then you just traded a pick to the Cowboys when there's still some guys on the board that could be helpful. So you again, you let the Cowboys go get their center, Wisconsin guy. You would assume he can block a little bit. Big Ten guy.
Yep.
The Cowboys have owned you. Howie Roseman has gotten schooled today. Ralphie, I was just listening back last night, said we're the laughing stock in the NFL, and rightfully so.
Yep.
Rightfully so. It's a flat out disgrace. And it's nothing to do with Jalen Hurts. It's everything to do with that. I have my quarterback. Where am I going?
Right.
So I just don't know. We talked about getting younger, Steve, Jake, boys, he made a big emphasis on that. And
getting younger, faster. Yep.
That's what the NFL draft's for. It's about to get younger. But we're talking about people got mad at me for talking about getting a second running back. There's a fan base out there that got mad at me. I would have taken Dobbins. I would have taken Swift. I would have made another move for another back.
Yep.
People got mad at me. We already got Miles. Where are you people today?
Yeah.
Miles isn't getting paid franchise quarterback money. He's not he's not the face of your organization. And you can tell the difference from Carson's tweet to Jalen Reagor and Carson's tweet to Jalen Hurts. And you all can believe he's cool with it.
He's not.
He ain't cool with that.
No, he's not.
I don't care.
Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest.
They could have called him, told him about it's going to happen. A, B, C, and D. Doesn't mean he's going to like it, guys.
Right.
And nor should he. Everybody else is just putting weapons around their franchise guys, whoever they may think they are. And we're over getting cute.
Look at Denver.
Yeah,
look at Denver just.
Drew Lock's doing dances right now. He's dancing right now. Wish Howie would, what do you call it? Put at least some effort to try and get Carson some weapons. I mean, he got Jalen Reagor, which I'm okay with now. But the thing is, and me and Ralphie talked about it pre-show, is that you value Jalen Hurts over CeeDee Lamb because you didn't want to give up a second-round pick, including your first-round pick, to the to the Atlanta Falcons to move ahead of the Cowboys to get CeeDee Lamb. And right now, and even last night, you take a quarterback in the second round. I would get it if there was no one available and whatever and so on and so forth, and it was a later round pick. Okay, whatever. But the fact that you had Christian Fulton, Denzel Mims, you had a bunch of guys in the second round with great value that you passed on. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? It makes no sense to me. Now Carson's going to have a shadow in the back, right behind him, in Jalen Hurts. And I have nothing against Jalen Hurts. It's not his fault for him being in this situation. He had no choice. It's just one of the things that we have to deal with now in the Folesian society, or like we talked about earlier, the anti-Carson Wentz people have ammo now. Carson has one bad game, and you're going to hear people be like, "Oh, bring in Jalen Hurts. Bring in Jalen Hurts." It's just
you already see that.
Oh yeah, you saw it on Twitter last night.
There's people out there that are already rallying around them, right? Mm-hmm. Now we're dealing with this, right? Mm-hmm. So Howie Roseman, who I know, GM speaks always. Well, we don't pay attention to social media. Well, you might want to,
yeah,
okay? Because if you paid attention over the last 2.5 years, 3 years, you would see that there became a divide here.
Yeah.
Over the last 2 years, there's a big divide in the Eagles Nation, from the Folesian Society to the Wentz supporters. So now we're back. So now we got to do it again. So now every game, we got to go out there, instead of worrying about other positions and other things, we all have to now defend our quarterback game in, game out as a fan base. For the ones that believe in Carson, like myself and others, we now have to, now we're protective daddies again. I didn't want to be a protective daddy. I didn't come into this draft to be a protective daddy. I came in this draft to get better, and so I didn't have to be the protective daddy anymore to my quarterback, right? I came in this draft, and I was told it's weapon city. It's speed. Well, guys like Chuck said, the Rieger pick, speed, we got to get faster. We got to get this. Okay. Then we did there, maybe. But now it makes me not trust that pick. It makes it hard to trust any pick.
Yeah.
So to your poll, coming in late to it, he wouldn't have been my GM after last night.
Right. No, I completely agree.
As soon as you said QB factory, you're fired.
Yeah.
You're fired.
Absolutely. And just getting to some of the comments here. Anthony Adis has an interesting comment. He said, "What I didn't get is when Doug Peterson first became the head coach of the Eagles, I thought Doug Peterson was was going to do his thing and make his own legacy and get out of Andy Reid's shadow. But Doug Peterson is becoming more and more like Andy Reid."
I wouldn't even get. Okay, let me be fair here. I gotta be fair. 2 Super Bowl winning coaches. Right. So, I mean, I don't give Howie Roseman the GM credit others want to. Right. Okay. So others want to praise him for 2017 success. I don't. I don't. It's the stuff he's always been able to do. Trade well, right? Mid-level guys, get him in here. You get the best out of them. Listen, it was the perfect storm 2017.
Yep.
And Doug Peterson, to keep a locker room together with all the injuries, deserves the credit for 2017.
Absolutely.
Credit around. All right. Not this jabroni. This jabroni has drafted bad for years. He's drafted bad in the first round for years. Unless he's going up and going up big time.
Yep.
You can give him Lane Johnson. I don't even give him credit for that pick. All right. I give that pick to that Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
I don't give Zach Ertz credit pick to Howie Roseman.
That's a Chip Kelly pick. Yep.
So there's one. So it's Carson Wentz.
And it's tough to miss on a top at number 2. It's tough to miss on number 2.
It is, but now you're saying we may have.
Yeah.
Just for the wrong reasons.
Yep. Like I was saying before you came on, Tommy, in the press conference when they're talking about Jalen Hurts, Andy Weidel even said, he's like, it's insurance. That's the big thing I took away from it. Because they're worried about Carson Wentz not being able to finish the season. And I understand it, but at the same time, you already paid the guy.
But here's the thing. You're valuing insurance policy over giving this guy what you told him you were going to give him, giving this fan base what you told us you were going to give us. So, at the same time, I get that you need the insurance, but you're basically sitting there saying, without saying it, you're telling us you trust him, but at the same time, you're saying you don't.
Hold on. Can I address this?
Go ahead.
AJ.
Oh, geez, AJ. Come on.
With all due respect, my man, he's a great quarterback. He's a great pick. Did you watch college football? What's the guy's biggest weakness? Throwing the football. He's a one-look tuck and go. That's not an impact guy immediately at the quarterback position. You got to go through your progressions. He never did that in college. He never had to. It was tuck and go, tuck and go, tuck and go. I don't know. There's no disrespect to Jalen, but they're trying to make him out to be one of the better quarterback prospects in this draft is a disgrace. Disgrace. It's a bad pick. Okay, it's a bad pick. It's a fine pick, AJ, if you didn't just give your quarterback all that money.
Yeah.
Can't have it both ways.
Well, especially even like if, and Schefter said last night he was surprised with the Eagles pick because he said he expected him to, or they theoretically he didn't see anyone picking him in the third or just him being available in the fourth round. If we drafted him in the fourth round, I'm fine. I'd be like, okay, cool, whatever. We have our backup quarterback, no big deal. But it's the fact that you just wasted a real big asset and you just and not even flop. You just basically ignored all the day one playmakers that you could have had with that pick at 53.
Yeah, well, Ray Williams said you're making it seem like Hurts the starter now. Jeez.
Oh my
no,
God.
no, not at all.
Not. Is anyone listening? Is anyone listening?
Jake just said it. When you use 52 or 53, whatever stupid freaking pick it was, doesn't even matter at this point. When you use that for a quarterback over so many needs and so many available, so much available talent on the board, that's got to be an impact guy. That's got to be a guy who can come at least play day one.
Yep.
For a team that's been to 3 straight postseasons, for a team that won a Super Bowl, right? I mean, come on, this team's on the doorstep. We've seen it. The window don't stay open forever.
Yeah.
Windows to win or this, unless you're the Patriots. So you better get through when you have another chance to. The whole looking for the future and getting younger didn't mean the damn quarterback position.
Right.
When your quarterback's 27. He's 27. Don't talk to me about Green Bay. Don't talk to me about the Patriots and Jimmy G when Brady was 35. Don't talk to me about none of that. Your franchise quarterback is 27 years old. So you made a decision to say, we don't trust you.
Right.
We're going to talk and act like we do, and we're going to pay you like we do, but deep down, we don't trust you. There's no other reason for it. To say you're a QB factory and that's your reason for picking them.
Right.
When you haven't developed a QB, period. Who did Howie Roseman develop? Doug Peterson, yes. Who did Howie Roseman develop?
Right.
The Mr. QB factory. Name a guy he developed. I'll sit here and freaking wait. I'll wait.
And JD brings a phenomenal point up. He's like, exactly. Meanwhile, the Broncos, Raiders, and Redskins are loading up and getting their QB's weapons. Yeah.
And Drew Lock stinks, and he's getting treated like he's a freaking filet. Right, you know what I mean? Like he's a top notcher. He freaking stinks, and now he's gonna look semi-decent because
he has phenomenal weapons.
Jalen Hurts, another Jalen middle name in the third round, another reach.
The linebacker, yep.
Reach the pick. The only pick they've gotten right to me that I'll say that's right is Kavon. And I like Rager. I think Jalen can play. So I just have question marks, but I think. Besides that, like the other 2 picks are big time reach. Jalen Hurts, big time reach, and the linebacker, big time reach.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't go diving into the Colorado for my linebackers. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. This shit's so easy. In the pocket protectors, this is what happens. It's so easy. Watch some football. Watch some college football. Watch the big conferences, the SEC, the Big Ten. Right? Watch defensive conferences and go get your defensive players from them conferences. Like you said, Fulton's on the board. You want Mr. QB factory? That's cornerback factory, factory all day at LSU.
Yep.
Why Cowboys and other teams are getting weapons and being explosive? How about another corner?
Right.
You're not sold on Carson, but you're sold on Sidney.
Yeah,
I'm asking for a friend. I don't know.
I don't know either, Tommy. I don't know what to tell you. Cannell has a good point too. He's like, all these people are trying to justify a second-round pick for a QB, and they're making it sound like they want him to start. I mean, there's people out there that want him to start. There's people that just hate Carson that much. Dude. They're looking for a reason to get rid of Carson, and it's ridiculous.
Jake, so much justification out there, brother.
Yeah.
There's so much. Like if you know.
Jake, how do you justify this?
There's a lot of justification. What'd you say, Steve?
You can't justify this. I really don't care like how you spin this at this point in time. Like we know what you needed. Like Tommy, you've already beaten it down, dude. He's 27 years old. You haven't really put a young, talented wide receiver core around him. We're going to wind up looking at him, Donovan McNabb again, with basically having good running back, good offensive line, good defensive front, and nothing to show for it in the trophy case.
You're right. And AJ said he can play multiple positions, and underdog Peterson, he will flourish. What multiple position? He doesn't want to play any other positions. He was at Alabama.
He wants to play quarterback.
He wants to be a quarterback. So you can tell me all the positions you think he's going to play, and I'm going to tell you what the kid said from for the last 2 years. So, and then I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. And people are trying to use the whole Taysom Hill thing. Here's the difference between Jalen Hurts and Taysom Hill.
Sorry, Jake. Go ahead.
You're good. Taysom Hill wasn't taken in the second round. Mind you, Taysom Hill wasn't even drafted. That's why everyone loves the idea of Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill wasn't even drafted. If you get an undrafted guy and you say you want to use him in the Taysom Hill role, okay, cool. It's another weapon for Carson, whatever, no big deal. Changes the offense a little bit, but just a waste of, and I keep going back to that. I keep going back to the well, just saying, what was available to you in the second round? You had defense, you had offense. I honestly would have been fine with Mims. I know I'm like a lot of people aren't necessarily high on him per se, but Rieger and Mims, you have another big body, and you have speed. You have another speed guy, and and like Tommy said earlier, I would have been fine with a running back. I would have been perfectly fine with a running back.
Anything but a quarterback. Like we did the one show, and I was like, "What don't you do?" I said, "You don't draft one, period.
Yeah,
you don't even draft one in the 7th round, honey. You be careful about even practice squad guys." I was like joking around about it. Like, be even careful about practice squad guys. This is a city in divide right now. What you just did. We can't do this to a quarantine.
No.
It's one thing we got sports on. Now I'm going to get this shoved down my throat for as long as I'm stuck in that we got a quarterback controversy here in Philadelphia.
I literally was saying to Jake.
We run a better factory here than anybody in China. You know what I mean? Like now it's a factory. Howie Rose is running. Shut up.
Yeah. And Gongo has what do you call it? I completely agree with Gongo's point. I'm sick to my stomach that Christian Fulton was there at 53 and we passed. Absolutely. Because it's great value at 53 that you passed on. And it makes no sense. It makes no sense. And we're gonna keep talking about it. Until sports come back, it's gonna be a conversation that we all keep going back to. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
What's this comment? Honestly, this last year was Wentz's first year without Foles or any side. You all about him being a starter. He did well with no serious injuries until the playoffs. Now you go get Hurts. Only giving Wentz a year to prove himself is a stab in the back.
Absolutely.
Spot on, brother. It's
absolutely.
It's no other way to say it but a stab.
No, it's absolutely a stab in the back. And people are like, oh, well, Howie called him and Wentz said he was okay with it. I'm like, what do you want him to say? He's not that type of guy where he's going to be like, oh, trade me. Trade me right now.
Yeah,
he's not that type of guy.
Yeah, it absolutely is a controversy.
Oh, there is a controversy. Absolutely.
You have holes on this roster, and at 53, you took a quarterback. I'm not trying to make a controversy. I think we're all trying to figure out why the hell you would even do it unless you wanted a controversy.
Right.
I didn't make it one. The guy who took him at 52 made it one. It's not a stab. It's a backup.
In the second round, Ray? Come on,
Ray.
In the second round?
Listen, it's a stab in the back to every fan in this fan base. Are you kidding me?
We didn't get better.
We were told weapons. We weren't told freaking insurance policy for the one you freaking traded half a freaking 2.5 years worth of draft picks for.
It makes no sense. Oh my God, go to that. Oh my, Ray, what are you talking about? Ray, what are you?
Montana and Young.
Oh my God,
That's not even the same level.
Get a clue.
Young could actually throw the ball.
Oh Lord, stop it. Oh my God, that's painful. It's not that makes no sense. That's ridiculous. Absolutely.
But there's no controversy, Jake.
Yeah, there's no controversy. We have Montana. We have Joe Montana and Steve Young apparently.
First off, the one, our friend. Look, I'm a Carson guy. With all due respect,
he's not Joe Montana.
He ain't either one. So calm the hell down until he wins MVPs and wins Super Bowls. Then you can start talking about Joe Montana, Steve Young. Who the hell is Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts wasn't a good quarterback in college. He was an athlete. Like Lamar Jackson threw the ball better than Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
Understand? So knock off the stupid comparisons. Like, he ain't Mike Vick. Mike Vick had a laser of an arm. All right. So he's not any of them guys. He's not Russell Wilson, who was a former baseball player, and former baseball players will spin the football all goddamn day. Okay. So he's not any of that. He's a guy. Yeah. He's a guy who lost his job at Bama.
What's up, TTP?
To a puppy. Was a great leader about it. Said, I'm not backing nobody up. And I respect him for it. And the guy was a playmaker in college. No taking anything away from that. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
In the second, he would have been there in the third. He would have been there in the third.
And I might not have been as upset, but I don't get. I saw one comment down here, or if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. It's talking about him in the Jalen Hurts and the Wildcat. We don't do the Wildcat. Like it's not, the Wildcat's dead now.
It was a gadget formation that barely worked.
Unless what do you call it? Unless you're like 6'6" and you're Cam Newton, it's not going to work. Plain and simple, it's not going to work. I just don't get it. I really and it's something, like I said, it's something we're going to talk about until we get sports back. It's unbelievable, and people are going to either mostly everyone hates the pick, but you're going to have those random people that are going to be like, oh, I have to have a different opinion than everyone, so I'm going to love it. I'm going to find ways to love it. Okay.
I did try to find ways to love it, and I couldn't.
And I can't. Like I can't. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at Jalen. Because like I said earlier, he can't control the situation, whatever. He's a great kid. He's a great guy. He's a leader. And like Tommy said, he's a winner. I have nothing against him as a person. Just it's the fact that he was picked where he was picked. That's the issue. And he's he's at a disadvantage as well, because he's gonna come into the city and people are gonna hate him for no reason, and that's not fair. You should be directing your anger towards Howie Roseman that made the pick at 53. It's not in Jalen's control that he came here.
No, and I don't like the first round pick. I don't. Nope. Some love it. I don't.
I don't hate it. I'm coming around to it. I don't necessarily love it. I'm okay with it.
It's back to the thing is because of what you did in the second round, when you could have moved up to get the guys that this town would have been electric over. You go and get a quarterback, and then you get a guy that is a little bit of a reach, but it's like he kind of feels the need. So it's like one of these things where you're trying to push us on this. No, I don't love the pick. Of course, I don't love the pick. Doesn't mean that we don't think that Rager's going to do well here, and we don't want him to do well. Is that you could have got a guy that made such a difference in this offense that this city would have been on fire. That's what everyone's having the problem with. Not the fact that you got Rager. Not the fact that Jalen Hurts is what you could have done with that.
So AJ, you're telling me you trust Howie Roseman?
AJ, I need you to do homework now. Okay, I need you to do homework. I need you to go look up his recent history of picks. I need you to go look up the last 5 years. And I want you to hang your hat and your reputation and your trust in this freaking pocket protector. I want you to do that. Please do that for everybody. The guy has missed more than any GM that I can think of. Any GM. The bad organizations hit. The only thing he does well with is free agency and trades. That's it. He is overmatched when he has full control of a draft. Why do you guys think Chip Kelly fought for it? Why do you think we had to bring Joe Douglas here? Why? Why? Because the guy is overmatched. When the easy stuff's in front of him, he reaches because he wants to be smarter than the guy behind him or in front of him. That's what bad GMs do in the draft. The good GMs, like the Baltimore freaking Ravens, sit there and say, oh, nobody wants Patrick Queen? Cool. Nobody wants him? Cool. Nobody wants him? Cool. Right? And they go off, hey, these are the best players. John Harbaugh had a party over a second-round pick last night.
Did you see that? He started clapping and everything. He's like, let's go.
While this GM, when he's by himself during draft day, is completely overmatched. Completely overmatched. And anybody thinks he's not, you're the ones who have zero clue about the game of football. You're the ones who never even laced it up anywhere ever in your history. Not even on Thanksgiving, after the turkey.
Eagles are on the clock.
Go catch a pass. Nothing. You're the guy sitting on the sidelines your girl was probably playing. All right? So shut up. Like you all Mr. Footballs now. Because I'm so sick of it being okay. I'm so sick of these people out there that literally whatever he says, you just buy into because you're so caught up in the Kool-Aid that you can't see past it. And I'm a Kool-Aid drinking Eagles guy.
Mm-hmm.
This is a horrendous pick, even if he was a good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell me about all the extra. I didn't draft the guy because I'm looking for more locker room guys.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't draft the guy in the second round at the backup quarterback for a culture.
For a culture guy, yeah.
Or for another guy in my QB room.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? He wasn't that good of a quarterback. He's a good athlete.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean he can't be one day. No, he's got a crystal ball. But now the QB factory's taking care of him.
Right.
Punch yourself square in the mouth if you think this is an okay pick. But stop watching Big 12 football if you think this is an okay pick. Stop it all. Stop it all.
Palatero Pinga. Great name, by the way. Big name guy. He said, fire Doug and his staff and Harry Roseman. See, like, I don't have an – I can't be mad at Doug.
I do like our last pick. We just traded again now.
Did we trade again? Oh, my God, we did. The Dolphins. Oh, Jesus. How now –
Hold on, can I tell people something? People are like, oh, we had so many picks in this draft. We had so many picks in this draft. You know, this is Howie's year. This is Howie's year. He's scared to death. He's scared to death. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him trading out every chance he gets. He's scared. Freaking puppet. Only good pick. I do like the tackle from Auburn.
I like that too. He's a nice swing tackle. He can play guard as well. I like that pick too.
I'll take SEC guys all day. I'm an easy cat to please. Easy kid in the boys.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Catnip and SEC.
Here we go. Bit of breaking news. Eagles are trading for 49ers wide receiver Marquise Goodwin.
He doesn't move the needle for me. He doesn't move the needle. Come on.
I will say one thing. I will say
speed. I'll take the speed.
This is what he does well.
No, I'm not.
This is what he does well. So I'll always defer when it's trade time and Howie. This is where I diff. This is where I'm on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Trading Howie, I trust it. I like Goodwin. He's speed. We need weapons. Shit, I'll take him. I'm not mad about it. For a late pick, that's not going to be any good anyway because you're the one drafting it. I'll take a guy that's played in the league. I'm good. Okay? So that's what he does well. But we're watching him struggle. We're it's right from her face. I thought his last two picks were good because he went to the right conferences for talent. But I don't know. Name a good linebacker from Colorado.
Yeah.
Shit. Sometimes it's too easy. Where are all these great TCU wideouts?
Yeah, that's the real question.
There's been one guy. No, Danian. After that, I don't even know why you go back to the school.
Right.
Love TCU. I love Big 12. Air it out. Let's enjoy some offense. If you love overs, that's that. I don't go there for deep.
So TTP has a pretty good comment. Howie knows he's asset drafting, so he took Hurts as future trade leverage. There's a higher chance he moves him in a package for value than he drafts somebody at a value at 53. Like my only here's my thing, and Ray Didinger said this earlier, which I think is interesting because someone asked a question to where if we don't hypothetically have a college football season next year, does it add to Jalen Hurts' value since we won't be able to see the quarterbacks coming in? I mean, you have Trevor Lawrence coming out. That's really it. But, I mean, how much more do you think you're going to get for Jalen Hurts?
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Unless the guy, and I don't give a rat's ass about preseason, but unless he is slinging it and so electric that it's like teams are knocking down your door, but you don't even get value. It's like driving the car off the lot. It loses value as soon as you buy it.
Whoa. Joey Tadero on the Marquise Goodwin pick, a 2020 5th round pick and a 2021 3rd round pick for Goodwin. Hold on, I have to confirm this before anything. I have to confirm this.
He gave up a 3rd round too.
If he actually gave up a 3rd round pick.
You want to trade the 2nd for Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb?
Oh my God, it's true.
You want it. Now I'm on fire. I gotta get off of here in a minute because I gotta go do some things. Let me tell you something. You wouldn't trade 52, 53. I don't even know what pick it is anymore because I want to try to block it out. You wouldn't trade that up to 15.
The Jaguars got Colin Johnson
for Jerry Jeudy. You wouldn't trade it up to Atlanta for CD Lamb, but you're willing to trade a third and a fifth for Marquise Goodwin? For what?
So the Eagles now are picking at 173 and 227 with that trade.
Guys, I got it. We got Goodwin. Let's not run down Broad Street. Please, let's not run down Broad Street. This trade, again, is another bad one now because it's too much, dude. A third and a fifth, you gotta get them for a fifth. The Niners just fleeced you for a third. Just fleeced you. And I'm not Mr. Pick guy. You talking about getting younger.
I just have to double check. I'm waiting to see the compensation because Schefter hasn't said anything yet. I know multiple people saying it. I'm not seeing what
Marquise Goodwin. We got guys excited. It's okay.
As a depth piece, it keeps the field stretched. I'm fine with that. I like that. But other than that, I really hope that's not true. I'm waiting for Schefter to see what Schefter
this
does.
is literally Reach City. Yeah, I hope to come on here today when Kevon went and being like, you know what, now I'm back, right? Now I'm like, you're working me back in because I love that pick. I watched plenty of Clemson games. I'm a big fan of the kid. I thought he dropped big time. You know what I mean? And Marquise Goodwin. Whew. Marquise Goodwin. I just want to make this clear with the people real quick. Okay. Marquise Goodwin has had 1 year and he had 56 catches. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years in the NFL, Marquise Goodwin has 140 catches. Okay? Is he explosive?
So, let's see.
You give up a third and a fifth.
Oh, thank God. Okay. Whew.
What?
Eagles and 49ers flipped 6-round picks with the Philadelphia Eagles also getting wide receiver Marquise Goodwin.
Oh, it was a switch of 6-round picks to get him?
Okay.
Oh,
cool.
That's fine then.
Yeah, cool.
It is.
Cool.
So, Jake, they just swapped 6?
Adam Schefter tweets, Eagles and 49ers flip 6-round picks with Philadelphia also getting wide receiver Marquise Goodwin.
Oh, that's a great trade then.
I'm fine with it.
Not a great.
We're good.
We're good. 6-round picks. So I don't even care about 6-round pick. He's going to.
I am okay. Cool. We're good. I'm awesome.
Okay, a little better.
All right, yeah. I'm fine. We're cool. We're back. Kind of.
Is that like a makeup? Is that like a makeup to your quarterback? Is that another makeup?
It's more of a depth piece to me. That's what it says to me.
I mean, if you ask me, it's a guy
no, don't do that.
It's a guy you can put on the field until Alshon gets healthy later in the year because obviously they haven't moved on from him, and that's not going to
Yeah,
happen.
no. All right. Eagles are about to pick.
And Bryce says that's fine.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with
it. Broad Street talk. He quits it. Broad Street talk. Brian's not gonna get your last name right, Brian, but good win move. Not so bad now. No, not so bad now.
No, not right now.
The Eagles drafted in the 4th. They drafted an offensive tackle out of Michael DeAndre out of Auburn.
Yeah,
but I love the conference.
Switch tackle can also play guard.
Need some depth there.
I'm fine with
it. Pelotero, don't do that to me, brother. Who did we draft? We didn't draft a punter. Who did we just draft? Taylor says Kevon Wallace, stud safety. Couldn't agree more, brother. I
really like that pick.
Yeah, in our mock, I had him. I was taking him in the 3rd. Eagles is traded for Goodwin. Yep. Olympic fast. Watch anything. Yep. I mean, obviously a flat out burner. Why does he keep saying how he got a kicker? Who did we just take? Anyway,
I'll spoil it for myself on what do you call it?
Yeah, go spoil.
I'll spoil it for myself. I don't know if it's there yet. Schefter hasn't said anything yet. They haven't said anything about the Bills pick yet, but we'll see.
And then we're coming up again here at 168 too.
Yeah, we're coming up.
I'm a little late, but what do you think of the linebacker out of Colorado? Luke Grissom says, listen,
he's a project.
Looks like he tackles well.
He can tackle, which I like, which is fine. And same thing with the safety from Clemson. They said he's a great tackler, which I'm fine with. He's a good open field tackler. I'm fine with that. But again, it's just what Howie looks for in a lot of these picks, especially with the linebacker yesterday. He looks for versatility. That's the big thing they said. They like guys that can play multiple positions, play all around the field, which I understand. But at the same time, you need a pure position player.
Yeah, because a lot of the tape that you see on him, he's almost playing like in the slot in a way, but like almost like a safety, but like a linebacker,
playing a little dime. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, I
safety. So
I like
I like it.
I like the tackle side of it, Jake. I mean, he looked like to me he'll stick you in the mouth. So
yeah,
I mean, he is 223, so he's not
a bit of a smaller guy.
Yeah, but he looks smaller than his size.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder how much weight he's put on since Colorado. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's probably a guy that'll probably put on another 5'10" before the
Buffalo Bills just took Jake Fromm. Okay. I'm amazed that he went this late, to be honest with you. I'm really amazed that he went this late.
Two completely different quarterbacks.
Wow.
I like that actually a little bit.
Yeah, I do too.
Two completely different styles. I mean, it's hard to cater an offense to completely different styles, but
yeah, I'm not against it.
Andrew Barry throwing TDs in his house.
So
Rager, Hurts, Taylor from Colorado, Wallace, safety from Clemson. Then we went Driscoll, not the QB, the tackle from Auburn. And then our other picks should be in here
relatively shortly.
We're on the clock now, and we're up again. All right, so we got a lot going on. But, boys, I got to go do a couple more lessons for today.
Oh, you're still doing lessons?
Yeah, I've been flying today.
How many do you have today?
4 total.
Oh, Jesus. There you go. All right.
Still doing virtual lessons, man.
Hey, there you go.
Get these kids swinging, man. Get these kids swinging.
Tommy's not going to leave his house even after the quarantine.
No, maybe not. Yo, Ralphie, same. If Ralphie's paying attention, same needs.
Yeah.
Same needs for the Eagles. No, I mean, you did address the safety need. Anthony, I thought the last O-lineman we took, very solid pick. I like him. Like Jake said, probably has the ability to play both sides because he swings it a little bit. So I like it, and I like the conference. It makes me trust it a little bit more. And guess what? Usually this organization, the QB factory, that they're more of a lineman factory, and they're usually better at that at this point of the draft. So.
Wait for this pick. Joey says.
Yeah, no, Josh, you're right. I mean, Fromm can't make every throw. It's a big issue in Buffalo. With that wind, hopefully for Buffalo, he never steps foot on that field.
Yeah,
because again, the arm never got stronger, right? I think that's what from freshman year Fromm, and you fast forward, it didn't get stronger.
No, he really didn't.
Boys,
all right, Tommy,
hold it down for the people. Try to bring some positivity. We're on the clock again. We got 2 picks in a row here, so. Maybe I just waited out. I don't know.
I think right now, since we traded with Miami, I saw it. We're at 168 right now, and then we have 227, if I'm correct.
I'll tell you one thing though. Regardless of the situation, this team's still ready to win now. So, if the addition of Goodwin's true, and you bring even more speed on this roster, with a guy,
Jalen and
Carson. I think this team very electric offensively. So excited about that. And then, sort of excited where they go with these 2 picks. Just curious on their direction. But besides that, the only pick that really haunts me is the Jalen Hurts. And I don't love Rieger. I don't hate him. It's going to be a wait and see if he can get better. Some of the things I need him to get better at. But in terms of being electric and a little joystick, that definitely will translate for him. And then Kavon Wallace, I mean, Jalen Mills, you better be able to play back there.
Yeah.
Because he can. So, I mean, that's a good pick. And then so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, the pick's in.
Oh, wait. Somebody said a kicker, too. I mean, Palatero keeps doing that to me. Probably is, too.
Be another quarterback. Selection is
John Hightower, wide receiver.
Let's go. More speed. I love it. There we go. Let's go. I love that pick.
And listen, a guy led him in everything.
Punt return ability too. I love it.
Let him in receiving yards, let him in touchdowns. So
that's a great pick.
Another explosive weapon to add to it.
Okay, Howie, I see you.
Yeah, I mean, he's got now. It's almost funny. He almost got a logjam at wide receiver.
Yeah.
So there's got to be moves coming. I would assume
Alshon's probably on the way out.
How's Alshon even here? And then and I guess it says a lot about what they feel about JJ, maybe. But
that's what I'm saying too. Just having that ability to stretch the field is going to help him tremendously. Would you say, Tom? I'm sorry.
Greg Ward's obviously not going to make this team now, right? I mean,
no, you wouldn't think so.
We're using all these assets.
Yeah.
Canal, I saw it. 2 receivers. I get it. I said if you miss in the first round wide receiver or you don't believe in it, you got to go back. That's the whole thing. If you had Judy or Lamb, you don't got to go back.
John Hightower, love that pick.
Man, it just tells you they don't even trust their own wide receiver they drafted last year. This is a mess. It is a mess. I like the pick.
I'm telling you right now, they're going to move JJ to slot. That's where they're going to put him. Much as I don't like it, but I'm telling you, that's how I see him. I see him as a slot receiver. He can play a little on the outside a little bit, but I see him more as a slot receiver. That's just how I see it.
So now we stock in the wide receiver and QB room. Knock it up on toilet paper. Hurts stinks. Here's a little bit of a project on being an outside guy. I mean, Hightower in the 4th. I mean, I don't know what kind of production you're expecting from a 4th round pick. We don't have a good track record there either.
No.
So, guess what? You throw enough things against the wall, I guess they're going to stick. So, boys, we got speed.
All right, Tommy.
We came in the draft looking for speed.
Yeah.
And he shouldn't be going nowhere, Jackson. He should be right here. None of these guys take his job day 1. So.
Where Jackson's going to be, the number 1 spot, that's where he's going to be.
Depending on what we do with Alshon, we'll see.
Later, boys.
Later, Tommy.
Later, Tommy.
But, yeah, I mean, the draft, I'm not going to get over the whole Jalen Hurts thing, but at the same time, I'm perfectly fine with Hightower. I'm perfectly fine out of Boise State. He has punt return ability. He has speed. He's a taller wide receiver. He's a little more lanky than I like for at least my wide receivers, but he can put weight on. It's not like he can't put weight on. I'm perfectly fine with that. A 4th round pick, good value, punt return ability, like I touched on earlier. And again, we'll see. But right now, as far as speed goes, we're loaded with speed. We're loaded with speed right now. It just depends on. I'm curious to see what we do with Alshon and Greg Ward, or with their last pick. Do they pick a tackle, or what do they do with their last pick? I'm curious, because I think after the draft, obviously you have your undrafted guys, but I don't think, as far as trades go, I don't think Howie's done. Just with all the wide receivers we literally just brought in, I don't think he's done yet. So we'll see. Yeah, Cannell says I'm pretty happy now trading down. Past 2 times, especially with selecting Hightower. Yeah, absolutely. It's good value. And me and Ralphie liked him coming out. So, and that's actually one of the guys we wanted today. And there's still some wide receivers on the board that I'm interested in. Donovan Peoples-Jones, I like, but obviously I don't think he's going to the Eagles now. I'd like to see another big body wide receiver, but again, I'm fine with where we're at right now. Greg says we became the modern day Raiders. Just draft speed. Who cares about fits and talent? You're not wrong, Greg. You're not wrong. But again, we'll see. Yeah, just do 4 verticals, just straight down the field, like the old Raiders thought was a good idea. Bob Abshire also says keep Greg Ward. I mean, yeah, Greg, it's Bob. I'm sorry, Bob Abshire. Excuse me. Says keep Greg Ward. I'm fine. I mean, I'm fine with it. He says I think he's proved himself. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, Bob. I have nothing against Greg Ward at all. I have nothing against him whatsoever. But my only issue is he was the best wide receiver on a team that had no wide receivers. You know what I'm talking about? He was the best when everyone was hurt. Now, again, I'm not saying he can't play or anything like that. It's just when all the other guys are hurt. But I mean, can he step? I think he could step up. There's a potential he could step up.
Without a doubt, he could. I mean, it's on him. When we were talking to Elter yesterday, man. Regardless of COVID or not, man, these guys are going to find ways to work and get better and whatever. It's on him.
Yeah.
The opportunity is him.
It's going to be, and he has to make the most out of it. But it's good to see that we have at least some sort of competition in the wide receiver right now, relatively speaking. But at the same time, it also helps to have these speed guys too to help Rieger out, kind of just come into his own. So I like the pick, but it just, like Tommy touched on earlier, it raises questions about Alshon now with bringing these wide receivers in, because now we have 3 new wide receivers. So I'm just wondering how that's going to work out, especially with J.J. Arcega-Whiteside that you drafted last year in the 2nd round.
If he's going to spend most of the beginning part of the season on pup, what does it matter?
Again, it's I don't know. I just, again, if you trade him, I don't think anyone's going to take that contract. You're going to have to soak up that contract, but at the same time, I just don't. And this goes back to the rat thing, right? To where people assumed Alshon was a rat. But if you know, like if they already knew Alshon was the rat, in my opinion, I think he would have been gone a while ago. That's how I see it. I think Alshon would have been gone a while ago. That's just me. But some of the other comments, Cannell also says, I'd say keep Greg Ward on the practice squad if he doesn't make the starting roster. Yeah, it goes back to the practice squad again. I mean, a team could potentially go after him, but again, I just don't see, with all the speed and all the ability of these receivers right now. I'm not saying they're going to be locks or anything like that, but they offer a little more than Greg Ward does. You know what I mean? I mean, Greg Ward can run routes, but he's not necessarily the fastest guy. But Bob also says, I understand that, but would trust him instead of J-Jaw. No, I get it. I get it. Recency bias, and basically Alshon has the track record, so I get it.
So, Jake, as we're getting to the end of the draft here, you know, with part of the thing today, who's your winners, who's your losers?
Obviously, I hate to say it, and I think a lot of people hate to say it. You have to say the Dallas Cowboys for one. That's one of my big winners. Jerry Jones literally took the reins on the draft. He's like, I'm doing this myself. Right now, I thought it was going to be a disaster. I'm not mad about it. He did a phenomenal draft, and the Cowboys fans should be dancing on their tables right now. It's a phenomenal draft. And same thing with the Ravens. The Ravens did what I think we should have done, is where they just let talent fall to them, and they just took those guys. Patrick Queen in the 2nd round is a phenomenal value.
And they got another linebacker too that's going to be a freaking beast for them too.
Yeah. I forget who that was.
Was it a 3rd or 4th round pick or something?
It was something like that. I forget. But we're coming up on pick 173. I think how we're going to do it, we're going to wrap up after the 173 pick, most likely. But honestly, guys, back like I touched on earlier, we really appreciate you guys joining us the last 2 days with the highs and lows of the draft, and just reacting with us and having laughs and taking, just kind of, we hope really more than anything, we hope we kind of just, it was kind of like brought you guys some happiness and joy during this whole coronavirus situation, and obviously all the crazy things going on right now. Hopefully we get back to normal soon. Hopefully we get sports back soon. But again, it's a fluid situation, and we don't know much right now, but at the same time, we're still going to be here. We're not going anywhere. We're going to bring you shows daily. We're not going anywhere. So if you want to have fun, get away from all the craziness of the world, come here, come talk with us, come have a conversation. We're always here to have a conversation with you guys. Talk Philly sports. Obviously, that's our main thing. We can talk Philly sports with you all day. But we're not just limited to Philly sports here at A2D. We can talk about every sport: Cowboys, Packers, whatever team, basketball, football, hockey. We got it all here. We're not just one-dimensional. We're not just a one-dimensional company to where we'll talk just Philly sports. Obviously, that's our bread and butter, like I touched on earlier. But we're more than happy to talk any sport with you guys. We're more than happy to.
Yes, sir. And then speaking of which, it's Philly's own Paul Felder's 35th birthday today. So
there you go.
Any of our combat sports fans that are out there, make sure you go on social media, show them some love. You know.
But all right, Steve. I'll flip the question over to you then. Who do you think was the winners and losers of this draft?
Look at Miami, dude. Look at Miami.
That's a good one too.
look at Miami, dude. Like, all right, regardless, like take two away, regardless your question marks around him, and look what else they did with that team and what they still have next season. The AFC East is going to be another one. I sat there and said the NFC West is going to be a bloodbath. That's going to be freaking 300 level epically fighting. Like it's going to be
nuts. Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be a mess. Those teams, right? Like wouldn't be surprised if you see New England not make the playoffs each of the next two or 3 years.
I think they make the playoffs next year. That's just me.
I don't.
But again, I could be wrong. It could be a new team.
But I don't think they recovered as much on defensively. One and two, you still have the question mark of what's going to happen with this new quarterback and all that. You don't know yet. So you have to see how that plays out. But I thought the Jets got better.
Yeah, the Jets absolutely got better.
And we already know the Bills were one of the better teams in that division, as it already was.
Yep.
And then Miami, as bad as they weren't that bad last season.
No, they weren't.
So
they have a great coach too. Don't forget that they have a very.
And then you look at it like they got rid of all these pieces, and everyone's like, "Oh, what's Miami doing? What's Miami doing?" All right, well, we're starting to see the fruits of what all the criticism that they were taking.
Yeah,
you have to sit there and say, you already said that the Ravens, what they did was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
What Denver did, putting weapons around that kid is amazing.
Anthony Adis says the Jags too. That's another good team.
Yeah.
The Giants didn't do too bad themselves. Obviously, the Xavier McKinney pick was great, and they invested in their O-line as they should. They got to protect their franchise quarterback. So I get it. Cannell says an A is an easy pick, mid-third round pick. And if we can get him here, it would be I wouldn't be against an A. And we're on the clock right now. Fam, leave your comments down below. What position do you think we're taking, and who do you think we will be taking with this pick? And obviously, we'll wrap up. Steve, who do you think we're taking? Just position-wise.
All right, so we already took the offensive tackle. We took the safety. I wouldn't be surprised to see the edge guy here. Because you have to say they haven't really addressed it yet, and it's one of the things this is where they like to pick those guys that they can kind of work into those situational type things. So I expect they haven't addressed it at all in the defensive line. So this is probably where I would assume it would be.
Possibly center. Anthony Adis says he saw center, so we'll see.
Yeah,
I can see center. Matt also says Godwin is probably a Chuck's guy. Believe it or not, Chuck's was more obviously. I think from our group chat, Chuck's likes it, but he was ranting and raving to get Dante Pettis. He really wanted Dante Pettis, but again, we'll see, because I don't think after the draft Howie's done making moves. That's just me, but we'll see. Still a lot of time left in the draft, so
I think that's probably where we'll see Alshon probably move, considering the receivers that we took.
Matt says, "Can we draft a new GM?"
All right, let's flip that around. You guys sit there and say draft a new GM. Who's out there available that you would put in this place right
now? Oh, Philip said John Runyon Jr. Yeah, he's still on the board. There you go. That could be it. I mean, we have that 7th round pick too. So if he really falls that far, it would make sense. It would make a lot of sense.
I would love to see him here, and I know John was kind of lobbying for it lately.
Darren says center. Traded pick. Oh wow, we traded the. We traded again. All right, where are we at? Because if it's like, what do you call it? If it's not that far away, then I'm not gonna shut down the show just yet. If anyone knows how far the Eagles traded back, let us know, or even what they traded for. That's what I'm curious about.
They traded to the Bears.
Traded the 173 pick to the Bears. Brady Rodriguez also says package Alshon and Russell Douglas with a pick for a defensive guy. I mean, you could, but who are you thinking, Brady? Who are you thinking about? Yeah, and Chuck's even says in our Real Talk group, he says how he knows there's a lot of holes, so that explains why he's trading back.
On another note, since the Goodwin trade came true, don't you think some fans owe Natalie Aganoff an apology because they were ripping her hardcore on social
media? I'll rip her regardless. Me and Jules will rip her regardless.
Stop, come on, man.
She says, "I have sources." What sources do you have?
Doesn't matter. She was right. Stop it. Come on, man. Give her 5 minutes. Leave her alone.
Give her 5 minutes.
Give her 5 minutes. Leave her alone, bro. Come on.
Cannell also says, "I'm really happy. I'm really happy now, despite the second round miss. We got a lot of value, good drafts."
That's what Howie. Listen. Like everyone thinks like we're being over the top with this. That's what Howie does well, and he has always done well with. Mm-hmm. We expect that. We want to see the turnaround in the top 3 rounds where you consistently bomb on.
Mm-hmm.
Why haven't y'all picked this up yet? Listen, we love Howie. We just love what he's done with us. We've beaten this one to death. He does great with the trades. He does great with the cap. That's all fine and dandy.
Yep.
He needs to get the draft right, and particularly hitting on the top end of the draft.
Oh, okay. So here's the trade. The Bears get picks 173 and 227, but the Eagles get 196, 200, and 233. Okay. So they get 3 more picks. I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with that.
All right. Well, I guess Runyon has to come here then.
You would think so.
He has to at this point. If you don't, like, it's a disservice, man. You know.
I mean, you still have you still have 3. You could go 196 or 200 here, and JD also. Where's JD's comment? He said thoughts on John Hightower. I like me personally. I like the pick a lot. Me and Ralphie he was one of our guys who we wanted.
But here's the other thing where he really helps you is because you really haven't had a legit return guy there, and he's going to give you balance there where you don't have to put Deshaun back there. You only put Deshaun back there when you need to make a big play and need something to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you can keep his reps down and not have to worry about him getting nicked up or banged up in that.
Yep.
And have a guy where you don't have to have your Corey Clements of the world back to returning kicks.
Mm-hmm.
We need a real return guy, and I think this guy is going to hopefully help us fill that need.
Yeah, and John Hightower, he averaged like 26.2 yards per punt return or kick return. He's a return specialist. He has speed. He's shown he can play a little bit. Obviously, we'll see how he meshes once he gets into camp or however they're going to do the offseason this year. But how he's investing in just speed, and more speed. So I can't be mad at it. Because when you have depth like that at wide receiver, as far as speed goes, you're always going to have the field stretch. You're always going to have the defense leave things open, whether it be the slot or whatever. So I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I think of what happened is the injuries from last season just really had them open up and like, listen, we need to really address this. Like even when you went down to the nuts and bolts at the bottom of the basket, it just really wasn't enough for Carson. And I think that kind of opened their eyes in that.
Mm-hmm.
We're starting to see that some of it. Hopefully they develop and they get to stay on this team and be productive for us. But at the same time, like I'm going to keep beating it. You got to get the top end right. You can't just keep doing this.
Yeah. Josh Gabriel also says we need a stud middle linebacker, period. No, I agree. But the team, we don't value, what do you call it? We don't value the linebacker position. That's just.
Yeah, they don't. And, me, Tommy, Ralphie, we were dying. We were dying. Like, listen, when we didn't get one of the big 3, it was like, hey, you got these linebackers here. And we haven't had a playmaking linebacker on this team for a long time. Especially drafted anywhere significantly. So
yeah, I mean, we had Jordan Hicks, who's a phenomenal linebacker, but he couldn't stay healthy here, and he goes to the Cardinals. And I think he was one of the league leaders, if not the league leader, in tackles last year.
But that's what he did here too.
Right,
injuries included. He was among the league leaders in tackles, and that's like I said, like he even though but he's not one of these guys that they haven't valued it. Like, listen. We need the quarterback on that defense that's not on the back end of it. That's up there in the trenches, making this running game that's going to be in the NFC East that's going to be deadly. You need to have somebody up in the middle there making people think twice about it, making them bounce it outside so your guys can make plays on them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing about it. Like, once, granted, we're going to have Malik Jackson and Cox in the middle. But like when we had those injuries, it was real easy to open those holes. You need to have somebody else in there to pound that in there.
Yep.
So especially when you're in the division with Saquon Barkley, point blank, period.
Yeah, exactly. But it's really interesting because, and Cannell even says here, how he did a good job day 3. I'll give him that awesome job. No, absolutely, and we'll see who else he picks. We have 3 picks right now, so I mean we'll see. I don't think we're gonna get to the pick by the time the show's over, but
I mean, but Jake, it's what we expected. We knew that he always makes the best of his back end of it. I don't know, like if he's the only one doing the talent evaluation, but whoever does the beginning half of this draft needs to look themselves in the mirror and explain something to this fan base.
Ooh, Josh, I like it. You put Tripset, Djax, Rieger, Godwin with deep vertical routes that will leave giant holes all over the flats, run screens, and well, yeah, no, absolutely.
Well, like listen, as long as this offense stays healthy and what we hope we're going to get out of Rieger and some of these guys in the draft, the offense is going to be where we're at. I already said it. My question is, do you give this defense enough teeth up front to make a difference, to make a playoff run? I don't know that yet.
Yeah,
I don't know that yet. We also have questions with the depth in the secondary. Yes, we got Darius Slay right now, but we don't know what we got with Sidney Jones. You don't. Is LeBron going to be a guy we can rely on? Is Avonte Maddox going to be a guy that's going to continue to step up and produce for us?
Yeah.
We don't know this yet. These are still guys that are kind of these developmental guys that have overachieved for us in the last few years. And what do you like? When are we going to stop playing around and let Rasul Douglas be a safety and just let him play the freaking ball?
Yeah.
He is not a cornerback in this league. I love him. He makes his best plays on defense when the ball's up in the air and he's able to roam around and do whatever he wants to do. That is when he is the best player.
Yeah. And I've said it for a while. I don't think a man scheme necessarily for Rasul Douglas is the best fit. To me, he's more of a zone corner. But that's just my opinion. And again, in this scheme currently that he's in, I see him as a safety as well, Steve. I agree with you. But
that's what I'm saying. Like it's so rough. I mean, we got the safety now in this draft, and I think that kid's going to really push Mills. We'll see if he's really safety in this league or not. We'll see if the last few years he spent under Malcolm, because those guys were really close, regardless of what people feel about Malcolm and his departure here from Philadelphia. It's going to play a factor in seeing what's happened. We have too many question marks on the back end of this defense, so we're going to have to say, I love some of the things you've done on offense, but listen, you've opened these doors with the questions with your questionable picks. If you address the defense in that matter with your second and third picks this year, we're not having this conversation. We're saying, guess what, Harry? We're still singing you praises, but you made your choice. You made your bet. You're going to have to deal with not only the Philadelphia fan base, but the Philadelphia media. You think we're bad. I can only imagine what's going on your major broadcasts.
Right. And Josh Gabriel says 100% in a division with arguably 2 of the top 3 running backs in the game, and the Eagles need healthy linebacking core. And in my opinion, Philly has some of the worst in the league. And Wayne bouncing off that.
Tell me when they've been good.
Right.
Tell me when the linebacker core's been good. As much I get it that Schwartz doesn't value that position, but listen, there is value for it in this league. So, as much as you wanted to reach and go, as much we feel it might have been a slight reach to go get Rieger right there, you should have gone and got one of them linebackers or go get that big playmaking safety where you don't really have to have that question. So, and then we still have to worry about questions about who we're resigning moving forward, and then you're still making misses in this draft. So we have a lot of questions with the team. Yes, do we believe it's a contender? Yes, of course we do. But there's still a lot of questions and a lot of things that are going on wrong. They still have to stay healthy, and we don't know if we can rely on that medical staff, do we?
Right. That's another conversation. Yeah, that's a whole other conversation that we'll probably have. But Wayne even says, well, sounds like Bradham's coming back for cheap. Yeah, and that's what we talked about a couple of weeks ago too. That we let him go and probably don't necessarily fill the position. Then we get Brandon back for cheap. If we get him back for cheap, I'm fine. He already knows defense and whatever.
I think Nigel will be back for significantly cheaper, and we'll probably want to go and get a thumper running back like Carlos Hyde and picking him up if we don't find somebody in the kind of undrafted free agency range with the draft. So
yeah, Ted FX also says, is Alshon gone now with all these new wide receivers? I mean, he could potentially. He could be.
He has to be.
He very well could be.
But like I said,
I don't see him coming back till November at least. I don't see him coming back till at least November.
Yeah, it should be right around Thanksgiving or so. By the time he should be medically cleared and in football shape, ready to play football.
Yeah.
If you could find a team that has some depth and could use a pop during the end of the season, we've been screaming Jacksonville, but they went and got receivers. So I don't think that's even an option at this point in
time. Yeah, and I'm gonna get to these two comments and then we'll roll on out of here. I'm going to mess this up. Farrell Horst on YouTube says Jalen Hurts is a solid prospect, just picked by the wrong team. No, absolutely, and I agree. And we all touched on, or at least I touched on.
Here's the thing: it's not necessarily the wrong team; it's in the wrong place. We keep sitting there saying that there's nothing wrong with drafting Jalen Hurts. It's where you got him at, with what was on the board, what you needed. We're not going to have a problem with supporting Jalen Hurts. We're going to have a problem with it is where you grab them at and causing the situation.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. But again, I touch it on in the beginning of the show. I'll touch it on before we leave. I have nothing against Jalen Hurts as a person, as a player, whatever. I like him a lot. I've liked him since college. I've always been a fan. He's a winner. He's a great guy. He's a leader, and the whole 9 yards. But where you draft him is where I have questions. And like I said earlier in the show, Eagles fans are going to go after Jalen, being mad at him for being the backup quarterback and being in a position that was completely out of his control. And that's not fair to Jalen. And I know just how Eagles fans are. I'm not saying for everyone or all of us. I just know there's some people out there that'll be mad at Jalen and be whatever. But at the same time, it's just one of those things we have to sit there and we have to accept it. It is what it is right now.
Listen, at this point in time, we can pray that we don't ever need him. But at the same time, it gives the front office some security, so be it. We're just going to have to deal with it now. It is what it is. We're going to have to deal with those consequences of it. But we still have a team who can make some noise moving forward, and we're going to have to see what that translates onto the field.
Yeah, and Ted FX also says we beat into the ground, could have gotten Fulton. Let's go 53-21 to trade up for Lamb. No, absolutely. I hear you. one of those two options I would have been fine with, and we talked about last night on the live reaction draft show. But again, like I said earlier, we made our bed and we have to lie in it. We're at right now. Obviously, day 3, it's looking a lot better than what it's looked like at least on day 2. So I'm fine right now. Just minus that second round pick, we're going to have questions. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much for the past 3 days, just coming around, joining us, seeing our live reactions, having a lot of fun, debating, giving your opinions, just freaking out with us on the second round pick. It's been a great time. We can't thank you guys enough. And we hope we kind of just gave you guys a little something to kind of just take your mind off all the craziness that's happening in the world right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everyone's been great, both on all the platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. Really appreciate everyone tuning in and showing us love. Keep it up with us. Keep it up with the draft. Dealing with our craziness.
Right. The craziness, the nonsense. No, appreciate it, Canel. We appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you just being here in the comments. We love having comments. We love talking to you guys. We love to get your opinions and weigh your opinions. You don't even have to agree with us. We can just have your own opinion. We can go back and forth, and that's what makes this fun. That's what it's all about. It's just a general sports talk conversation. That's all we're doing. We're just creating a conversation. You guys add to that conversation, and that's all we do. If we get mad at you, whatever, it's just that we're not going to hate you forever. It's just one of those things. It's like talking to your friends about sports. You have a good back and forth.
Here's the thing I think some people tend to forget. Just because I don't like your take doesn't mean I don't like you. Everyone wants to get wrapped up in this personal conflict thing. Listen, just because we're not going to agree on this subject doesn't mean I don't like who you are or what your particular takes are on sports in general.
Right.
That's the point of the show. Agree to disagree, fellas. Agree to disagree, ladies. Whatever it is.
Right. And TEDFX also says, what does A2D stand for? Agree to disagree.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Exactly.
A2D. Agree to disagree.
Hey, man, hopefully moving forward we can hopefully moving forward we can make some more programming plays off of what A2D is and maybe have some live debates between some fans or even some athletes too.
Yeah, absolutely. We have Fan Friday once once everything gets back to normal, we'll most likely have Fan Friday back where you guys call in on Fridays. Give your opinions, talk to us, talk to Tommy and Brian Wilson. That's their show. So talk to them. Maybe some of us will get on there. We'll talk about it. We'll see. But right now, obviously, we're just doing the remote location, which we're fine with. But
we're just having fun right now, trying to make sure that everyone else is having fun with us.
Yeah, exactly. But Steve, you got anything else before we wrap up?
Nah, man. Just make sure you guys are tuning in, keeping up with what we're doing. Make sure you guys head over to Philly Drinkers. Go get your A2D gear. You know, we're gonna be doing our things as per usual during the weeks with the shows.
Yep.
Make sure you're following us on all the platforms, showing us love there, sharing the links, and you know, we're getting closer to you know, getting ready to pop out this giveaway. Hopefully, we'll coordinate it a little bit better this week and get it knocked out.
But as always, we are brought to you by our sponsors. We are brought to you by our doc, Make 'em Yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, and Princeton, New Jersey. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. And we are also brought to you by our guys at Ambuck Services, AMBUCK services.com. Call Michael Ambrose, tell him A2D sent you, get yourself 20% off gutters, gutter guards, any work you need done outside your house. You don't have to worry about coronavirus or anything like that. He's all outside your house. Get all your work done, 20% off. Tell him A2D sent you. He's got you covered. Go to ambuckservices.com. As always, Steve Reichel, we appreciate Tom Arnone coming on, as always. Ralphie, wherever you are, we appreciate you doing what you do, as always. As always, I'm Jake Friel, and we'll check you guys back again next week on another edition of the Weekly Roundup. See you guys.